Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Sunday Stock Watch, series I post every Sunday where I let you guys know what stocks and asset classes I'm personally keeping an eye on going into the trading week. So, as always, we will go over each topic that we're going to be discussing and then we'll dive into each one individually. To kick it off, we got the good old SPY in front of us. As you can see here on TradingView, I will give you guys a general rundown of my thoughts on the equity markets. I feel like that's a good place to start. We will then move into an article that covers some big earnings next week. We've got a lot of earnings next week, you guys. I believe about 25% of all companies within the S&P 500 do announce earnings at some point next week. We're not going to get detailed on all of them, but I do want to run through a list of all of them quickly with you guys just because there's some big names in there, and I want to put them on your radar just in case you want to do more research on them. This article also covers a few other big macroeconomic things going on next week that I do believe will impact the market, so it's just important to keep things like that on your radar, okay? So we will then move on to the three stocks that I'm personally most excited about. Smaller stocks, if you guys have been tuning into the channel, you guys know that I like these smaller plays. I'm personally not going to be playing these earnings, but again, I just want to put them on your radar. These are the plays that I'm personally excited about. So we have Sorrento. They are working on COVID treatment. So small biotech company working on a COVID treatment. Very excited about them. We will then move on to Riot Blockchain. Again, if you guys have been tuning in the channel, I have been talking about Riot a lot lately, talking about Bitcoin. Extremely bullish on Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency sector right now for many reasons, both technically and fundamentally. So we will talk about Riot Blockchain, Bitcoin mining company. If Bitcoin does well, this company will likely do well. On the topic of Bitcoin miners, we have Marathon Patent Group, or MARA. This stock was on absolute fire on Friday. So up 14% on the day, up 33% after hours on Friday. Crazy price action. They're very excited to see what happens next week. But I do want to talk to you guys about MARA. This is one of the few stocks that is, obviously one of the stocks I'm most excited about, short term and long term as well, to be honest. So on the topic of that, we're talking a lot of crypto today just because it's the single asset class that I'm by far the most bullish on at this moment, again, for technical and fundamental reasons. We'll talk about Bitcoin. I have been talking about Bitcoin a lot, but we'll quickly touch on it. I want to show you guys the monthly chart. So very macro level, very bird's eye view level of the Bitcoin chart and what I'm seeing here and why I think this last month of close was extremely important and bullish for Bitcoin. We will then close off the video by featuring my boy Bitfink, one of my favorite Bitcoin analysts on TradingView, talking about a Fibonacci pattern that he drew up here. And again, you guys, I look at these a lot of the time just for fun. It's obviously good to expand the way you're thinking, especially in technical terms sometimes, get other people's perspectives. So I want to take a look at this and we'll close it off there. Very bullish news for Bitcoin. All right, so before we do get into it, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it, or if you're invested in any of the stocks or assets we're talking about today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter. First link in the description if you're interested. Okay, so again, S&P 500 right in front of us. This is, you guys, there's obviously the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, etc. I prefer to look at the SPY. It's just what I feel is the best way to sum up the markets, okay? So what I'm seeing here, we did close Friday in the green. If you guys remember, on Friday, the market definitely dipped down, but closed green. And that looked like a lot of liquidity being injected just because you saw a lot of volume in just in the SPY at that specific point in time on Friday. So I think that's some printed money being injected into the markets, keeping them propped up like they have been for a long time. But from a technical perspective, it's hard not to see this as bullish, okay? So we did end up closing Friday just about at the same place that we were earlier in the week. I thought this dip might have been the beginning of another pullback. I've been thinking about that for a while now, though. But Friday, it really took a turn as the market was closing. It closed green, and from a technical perspective, it wouldn't be surprising to me to see another run up. Again, it's rare to see a chart that looks like this. Again, we kind of set a double. The reason I was kind of bearish and thought this could be a reversal right here is because we did kind of set a double top right here in a sense, but this is technically a higher high, but it kind of looks double toppy. But from a technical perspective, the SPY is looking pretty good. The only thing that I would say is there is kind of some bearish divergence forming here, which is where you see volume coming down, bearish divergence in regard to volume at least. So you see the volume trending down, but you see like this trending up. So that's bearish divergence, and that's usually a bearish sign. But again, I think a lot of the macroeconomic factors like earnings, like some of the things that we're going to talk about in this article right here, will definitely play a fundamental impact it is very hard right now how you decide to balance the fundamentals and technicals in this market. Obviously, there's a lot of traders in this market, so technicals do matter, but fundamentals will always and forever be the catalyst to big moves and big price action, okay? So let's move on to the fundamentals. The jobs reports and congressional politics may matter more for markets than earnings in the week ahead. I agree with that. Earnings, earnings, valuations, like financials of companies, objectively, do not mean a lot in this current market. I've talked about that a lot before. There is definitely a disconnect between financials, between PE ratio, and between the valuations of companies. So just keep that in mind. But these macroeconomic factors that I'm about to say right here, I think will definitely have an impact on the markets more than earnings. I agree with Miss Patty Dom of CNBC. Key points: about 1.4 million jobs are expected to have been added in July, and Friday's employment report could be big for the market since expectations for non-farm payrolls fall in a wide range. About a quarter of S&P 500 companies report earnings, but analysts say now that big tech has reported, the earnings season will be a less important driver of markets in the coming weeks. So again, you guys, I did cover this last week. Big tech, the big four, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google did announce earnings last week. All but Google did impress, and they all saw some crazy gains, and that's wild. Again, those guys by market cap do heavily weight the S&P 500 and a lot of the indices, so keep that in mind. But again, that's big tech. That's kind of it makes sense that they're winning in a current economy. But a lot of these other companies within different sectors, more legacy sectors, it's very likely that they will not impress with earnings, and that could definitely have a detrimental effect on the markets, in my opinion. So I do think that earnings will impact certain sectors within the markets. The markets as a whole, I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. But politics is moving to the foreground as Republicans and Democrats need to come together to approve a stimulus package that will help millions of out-of-work Americans. So in the Ways Weekly that I just posted yesterday, I did talk about the new stimulus package. Both parties are butting heads right now. They can't decide on a stimulus package, which is, it's super disappointing, but not surprising. I'm sure you guys agree with that. But again, $600 a week that the CARES Act benefit for unemployed people did end last Friday, and that's a big deal. That is extremely detrimental to the economy in terms of consumer spending, in terms of even like retail traders. Imagine how many retail traders were putting that $600 straight into Robinhood, buying some stock. You have to think that way, you guys. It's just less liquidity flowing throughout the economy, throughout the markets as well. All right, so that's important to think about. And unless they do decide and establish a stimulus package very soon, that does include at least $200. I think it's going to be $200 to $300 as opposed to $600, which I agree with as well. I do agree with that. I do agree that it should be decreased. But I think that they need to come to a conclusion quick, or we could see very detrimental economic effects. All right, so gonna skip all of this, just move straight down. We're gonna try to just blaze through these earnings next week. So week ahead calendar: Monday we have AIG, Clorox, Virgin Galactic is a good one, Take-Two Interactive. I'm just gonna read some of the names that I'm personally keeping an eye on. Hyatt Hotels, that's gonna be very interesting to see how the hotel industry is doing. My money's on the fact that it's not good. Tyson Foods, they're probably doing pretty well, but it's I'm actually not. I would imagine they're doing well. Again, they serve chicken. Everyone loves chicken. Chicken is hot right now. Always been hot, but they're definitely hotter than ever, I would say, right now. So Tyson, I would imagine, doing pretty damn good. Virgin Galactic is going to be interesting. That is a very revolutionary company. We like those around here. Virgin Galactic, though, is a story stock. I do want to make that very clear, and that is my thought. Virgin Galactic, cool company, very forward thinking, but it's a story stock. They're not I don't think they're actually flipping much of a profit yet. I could be wrong there. Please correct me if I am. But yeah, I haven't actually looked at Virgin or researched them in a while. Just saying that. So Tuesday, big one, Walt Disney Co. That's a big earnings call, especially with Disney Plus. It's going to be interesting to see how the streaming platform is doing. Obviously, the parks are all closed, so that will be interesting. Keep an eye out for that. Sony, big one. AMC, poor AMC, they're definitely not doing well. CyberArk is a cool one. Activision Blizzard is probably on fire. Planet Fitness, I am personally shorting Planet Fitness. I'm very short the gyms. I wouldn't be surprised if they almost announce bankruptcy in that earnings call or something similar. So I will probably short Planet Fitness, to be honest. Monster Beverage is, I don't know, because people are less active. People are out less. I assume Monster Beverage sales might might actually be down, but we'll see about that. Keeping an eye on that. Wayfair on Wednesday. Sketchy boys, Wayfair. I don't know about those guys. There's a little shady practices going on over there. New York Times, interesting. They're probably doing actually fairly well with their because they're primarily digital now. So I'd be surprised if they're doing pretty well. Square, I love Square. Again, Square has the Cash App. They sell Bitcoin through the Cash App. Square is probably doing good. Fitbit, I feel like is on fire. I have a Fitbit myself. I love my Fitbit. I think Fitbit is on fire. I think Fitbit's going to do very well. I might have to look into a position. I'm not currently positioned, but I might have to look into one. Regeneron, big ones. Allianz, that's a big one too. Oil, getting a little oil in there. Wendy's is going to be interesting. I know McDonald's didn't actually do too well. They're actually closing some stores and stuff. So fast food might not be doing as well as some of us may think, as I thought personally. So Thursday we have Bristol Myers. Mylan is a cool company. They're actually making some generic drugs, I believe, for India. I can't remember what it is. I think they're making. Oh God, I'm not even gonna spend time on that trying to think about it. Sorry about that. So Zillow is probably not doing. Actually, Zillow, the home market I think is on fire right now. Because everyone still has that money and everyone wants a home. Everyone's sick of being congested. And I know homes are hotter than ever. So Zillow might actually be doing really well. Dropbox is probably doing well. Hilton is probably tanking. Obviously Hilton is struggling right now. Papa John's, same category as Domino's, probably doing pretty decently. Everyone likes pizza. Pizza's hot. Got Davey Day Trader making the pizza reviews every day. Adidas is probably not doing too well. Nintendo, I don't know. They're probably doing pretty well. Everyone's at home. Everyone wants to switch. Toyota, I don't know. I don't see anyone buying cars personally, but look at Tesla. Tesla didn't sell many cars. Not gonna rant on Tesla right now, but anyway, Toyota will be interesting to see. I have no opinion there, but it will be interesting to see. And Friday we have Berkshire Hathaway, which is a very interesting one, and we do have the unemployment report, and then the initial jobless claims on Thursday as well. Okay, so initial jobless claims on Thursday, employment numbers on Friday. Those are big numbers, and again, these are a lot of exciting earnings coming up that. I spent a decent amount of time on that just now, but again, I want to put these guys on your radar. I'm sure a lot of you are invested in at least one of the companies we talked about today. Again, there's some bangers next week. 25% of S&P companies. That's a lot of companies, and it's definitely going to be a good window into the current economic landscape. Okay, so let's move on to Sorrento. So Sorrento, I did post that analysis video last week. Perfectly timed. I felt like freaking Nostradamus after that one. Literally the morning I posted it, I called. I thought it would hit $10. Obviously, you guys, this is what I'm thinking, but there's some luck involved. I didn't think it was going to happen that fast personally, but it did make me look good, so I'll take that. It did come up and scrape like the $10 level. After that, it did move down significantly. So it was up on Friday, like 25% or something crazy like that. It ended the day down 4%, or up 4%. I'm sorry. It was up a few percent after hours as well. But you guys, always situations like that. Like when that happens, when you see it up 25% upon market open and then goes down to nearly flat levels, that's a great buying opportunity in my mind, because then you know the volume's there. And we do see the largest bit of volume here since that spike back in May, which is extremely bullish to me. And again, Sorrento, the fundamentals behind Sorrento are just getting stronger and stronger. So I'm super excited about Sorrento right now. What I believe will happen with Sorrento is we'll see it come up to this level around here, around $14. Let's see if we can zoom out. Let's go to the 5-year to see these actual levels. So my levels for Sorrento are $14. It did set two highs there in 2015. And again, the fundamentals are stronger than whatever happened in 2015. I'm pretty confident in that. And I would not be surprised at all to see Sorrento hit $26. Because once it's able to clear $15, technically, you can go back here. There's some little areas back here, but I'm confident, especially in this market, with so much retail investors, they're looking for the hot stocks. And considering Sorrento is like just $1 billion company, that leaves a lot of room to grow with honestly not much capital inflow. Okay, so that's the beauty of all three of the stocks we're talking about today, is these are all fairly small market caps. Riot and Mara are micro caps. All right, and micro caps, that's where I've made not necessarily made the most, but I mean, microcaps can make you so much freaking money with such a small potential position. Obviously, they're riskier. You guys understand that. These are very risky positions when you're dealing with stocks that can be easily manipulated. That's an issue too. The fact that it does take little capital inflow with companies with small market caps to raise the individual share price. It also leaves them vulnerable to manipulation. Okay, so that's something that's every pro has a con. All right, and that's kind of the catch-22. But Riot, again, Bitcoin is on fire right now, you guys. Bitcoin's killing it. Ethereum's killing it. The whole cryptocurrency space is on fire right now. And it just makes me that much more bullish on these crypto plays like Riot and Mar that we're going to talk about. There's a lot of other ones too that I will talk about in the near future. A lot of stocks in this space that I'm excited about right now. But again, today we're focusing on Riot. I think Riot over the near future will not have an issue coming up to retest this trend line that it's set in May, because that was a pretty strong trend line that it was setting. So I believe that it will probably come up and retest this upper line of resistance one more time. Let's zoom out. When you zoom out on Riot, look how insane that is. Like this is what can happen. So that area does coincide nicely with two highs that it set back in November of 2016 and April of 2019. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Especially considering the fundamentals behind Bitcoin are so much freaking stronger than they were in 2017. And this company, Riot, is way more established. They have way more Bitcoin mining machines. They're actually doing things within the sector. This was a bubble. This is obviously a bubble. Now they're actually doing stuff. So it can still bubble up. I'm betting on the fact that it probably will bubble up, but now there's actually some merit to the bubble, okay? It's not just a complete wild card, not just void bubble. Now there's actually some weight to that bubble. All right. So after that level, after $5, I do expect Riot to come up to $10. Nice psychological even. It did set a few highs back there during the last bubble. And honestly, after that, I wouldn't be surprised to see Riot, if Bitcoin does happen to reach previous all-time highs, to hit this level. Again, you guys, there's so many retail traders in the market. Retail traders see Riot on the top 100 stocks. They're going to want in. Riot's market cap is freaking $90 million. That's tiny. Riot can 10x from here and it won't even be $1 billion. The majority of the companies in the S&P that aren't even profitable right now are worth $1 billion. Okay, so Riot can 10x. If Riot 10x, it's at 900 mil. That puts Riot's share price, what's Riot at like right now? So you could see like a $25, $30 Riot and with only $1 billion market cap, all right? So that's important to think. That goes same for Sorrento. Sorrento's like $1 billion right now. Mara, which we'll move on to right here. Mara is even smaller. So Mara is where is it? It's above. So Mara is at a $36 million market cap. That is tiny. That's a micro cap. And again, you guys, with micro caps like this, it really doesn't take that much capital inflow to boost the price. That's why 36% for Mara isn't even like, it's awesome because I have some call options and I know those things are going to kill it on Monday. But Mara, like, a 36% move for a market cap that's $36 million is not that crazy. It doesn't take that much capital. It doesn't take that much new capital into the stock to boost the price that much just because the market cap is so small. And again, you guys, that does make it riskier, but that does provide for way more significant gains if you catch this trend early. And again, that's the most important thing is you catch trends early. Mara and Riot are such obvious plays in my mind. You can see right here it gapped up. So like this is after hours. This is blue that you can see right here. So this is 14% right here. This move right here, this is Friday. So this is July 31st, Friday. This is 14%. And then this in the blue is all after hours. So it's up almost like 40% after hours. And then it went on to like finish off at like 34% or something. I mean, it just shows, even if it doesn't do well on Monday, to be honest, it just shows that there's volume. And there's volume right now in Mara. Same as Riot. So let's go back to Riot. You can see here this volume. Look at that volume spike. This is more volume that we saw just on Friday. Or on that week, just last week. More volume than we've seen. This is more volume than Riot's ever had. And that's in one day. So that's what you want to see. You want to see volume. You want to see people finding these stocks. Because that's the biggest thing. You find them. If they're on their radar, and they start going up, they start performing, they're going to want a piece. And the more people know about this, that's what volume shows me. You see these spikes in volume, that drives investor like attention, and that drives price gain. Okay, so again, you guys, not financial advice. You guys know the deal. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. All three of these could absolutely tank. I don't know, but my money's on the fact that these three will perform extremely well. I'm short term, medium term, and long term bullish on all three of these stocks, and I'm very excited to see what happens next week. Mara, I mean, if you look at Mara, it's kind of similar to Riot. Like, just you see such volatility here. So over 5 years, like this is the potential of a stock with a small market cap. Like, you can just see price action like this, and see even Mara's at $2 right now, $36 million market cap. I mean, Mara could 20x, be at a $600 million market cap, and it'd be a $40 stock. Okay, so that's, again, you guys think like that. A $50 Mara would be $1 billion. So for a $1 billion market cap Mara, and I'm not going to justify that, but just in this day and age, in this hype, shiny object driven market, $1 billion market caps are, I mean, that's a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things. So that would bring Mara, that's like a $50 Mara. Not the math isn't exact on that. You guys get the point though. Mara, I mean, and that's what we see right here. It has been at $50 in the past. And I wouldn't be surprised at all, again, if Bitcoin and cryptocurrency continues to do well, to see a $50 Mara. Not soon, not late, I don't know when, but at some point in the, I'll say medium term, because that's a safe thing to say. But I'm confident, you guys, I'm confident in the fact that, again, if Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency sector continues to do well, like I believe they will, we'll talk about it right now, that Mara, Riot, so many of these other plays within the cryptocurrency blockchain stock sector will do well. And I'll keep you guys posted on that. And shameless plug here, you guys. You guys check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. I plug it all the time. But I mean, I caught Mara early last week, and on that position, on those call options on my stock position, already up pretty significantly, you guys. So, I mean, very shameless, because again, if you saw that and it was on your radar, if I happened to put that on your radar with my portfolio product and my newsletter, which I did talk about Mara in the newsletter again early last week. I mean, you could have potentially established a position if you felt it was right and seen some of that crazy aftermarket gain. Even without the aftermarket move, it was doing really well. So, but again, I'm telling you about it now. But there's plenty of other positions like that out there, and there will always be more positions like Mara. So don't worry if you guys missed it. There's always micro caps that have the potential to explode like that out there. So yeah, again, shameless plug to the complete portfolio. First link in the description if you're interested. All right, so Bitcoin. We'll look at Bitcoin on the monthly candle. I haven't showed you guys the monthly yet, but something did happen when July closed that is very important. So you can see here that July closed at about 11.3K, all right? And that is the highest monthly close since we saw 20K back in 2017. And that is extremely bullish from a macro perspective, all right? So you see this close. And when you look at this just looks bullish. Like, when you look at this chart, it looks like this is just going to continue up, right? This is one big bull market. Again, Bitcoin crashes. Bitcoin has been a bubble in the past. Bitcoin does bubble up. It is proven to do that. It's a very volatile asset. The volatility is what makes Bitcoin beautiful. It's what attracts attention and gets people invested. And once you invest, I always say, once you invest in Bitcoin, it's like an investment into your education, because you will fall down the rabbit hole and you will understand, as you continue to educate yourself, how freaking important Bitcoin is and what a significant role it will play in the future of finance and our economy, okay? So again, I don't think, you guys, Bitcoin, I want to establish this. I don't think Bitcoin is going to replace the US dollar. I don't think it's going to become the global reserve currency. I think Bitcoin is digital gold, a scarce, finite, absolutely scarce digital asset. It's gold 2.0. It's a better version of gold. Bitcoin, absolutely scarce. There's only ever going to be 21 million max ever, and that's coded into Bitcoin. That can change. Not even enough for every millionaire on earth to own a Bitcoin, okay? And again, Bitcoin did recently just break, like a week or so ago. That led to this recent rally in the cryptocurrency markets. Bitcoin broke a multi-year downtrend and now has closed a monthly candle at the highest level since the 20K levels back in 2017. So when you look at it, like, there's nothing, like, I can't see anything bearish here, especially with the fundamental backdrop, you guys. Government, I was talking about in the beginning, how on Friday, the price action that closed on Friday, that closed the markets green, looked like liquidity injections. You could see that when we first had the liquidity crisis back in March, and the Fed started printing and announcing that they were buying bonds. They're buying literally everything under the sun. you could see those days. You could see when these large funds, the people who are allocating that printed capital, just inject them into the markets, because you see inorganic growth, inorganic green in the indices, okay? And that's what happened. The Fed's printing trillions of dollars. Over time, it may not seem like it right now, but over time, you will see a deflated dollar. You will see a devalued currency. It's happened over time. It's inevitable that will happen at some point, and you want a hard money safe haven. You want a hard money, absolutely scarce asset that can't just be printed. It's in the code. It's absolutely scarce. It takes resources, energy, time to obtain. That's what the miners do. That's what Bitcoin miners do. If you're not familiar, look into it. I'm not going to explain it now, but that's what these companies do. They mine, they validate the Bitcoin blockchain and get paid in Bitcoin. All right. So it's like gold. And I want to say as well that I'm very bullish on silver and gold right now too. But I think there's so much more upside in Bitcoin right now, you guys, and I'm so bullish on Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency sector as well. Stop rambling. Let's move on to this. Again, fun chart to look at. I did just mention in my video yesterday the Fibonacci. I drew a Fibonacci fan. I talked about another Fibonacci, so we're just kind of on a Fibonacci kick right now. And again, this is one of my favorite indicators. Again, Fibonacci charts. It's psychology. It's printed psychology. It's printed market psychology, and the Fibonacci is mathematics in nature. It's nature's pattern, and I believe that definitely, like, again, it's the human psyche is in a sense a natural thing. I mean, it's definitely a natural thing. That's inarguable, but I like the Fibonacci pattern a lot. This Fibonacci pattern, this analysis was made by my boy Bitfink. Again, he's probably my favorite individual crypto analyst, Bitcoin specifically, on TradingView. Check him out if you're interested in some fire Bitcoin analyses. But this is a Fibonacci sequence. You can see here we are forming somewhat of a cup and handle in Bitcoin since the drop in March. So you see the cup, you see the handle, and then that leads to a breakout. And what it looks like here, you got the Fibonacci ultimate low to ultimate high spread out 0, 1, around where we're at now, and it perfectly lines up. Again, that high, ultimate high to ultimate low right here, perfectly lines up with that. And if we go to 2, if we replicate that move up, we will see a $17,000 Bitcoin. And a $17,000 Bitcoin makes perfect sense to me. It makes sense that, especially, again, you guys, considering this monthly close, a 17K Bitcoin would also align perfectly with this high candle of January in 2018. So, again, it would make sense to me just looking at this pattern. Again, lower, like higher high. This is a lower high, but this is also a lower low right here. And I definitely think that at the very least we'll break 13K. We will. It's almost inevitable to me that we will break the high that we set back in June of 2019. So I assume we'll break that. Once we break that, it's pretty free range up to 20K, aside from 17K. So I do think we'll probably hit 17K in the near future. That's my guess. We might see we'll probably see a significant pullback at some point. That's just how Bitcoin works. You guys have been in the space for years. But again, it's good, you guys. It develops a strong stomach. It develops character. Holding these assets, sticking through the tough times. Times good and bad, obviously you can trade them. That's the wiser thing to do. But even if you just have a small position, hold it and watch it go up and down. Volatility is to be expected, but again, the volatility is what draws attention and what ultimately draws education and draws investment, long-term investment, which makes an asset valuable. Okay, so Bitcoin. I mean, I'm so freaking bullish on Bitcoin. If you guys didn't tell from the super long rant, I've been ranting about it a lot. I'm sorry if you guys aren't super interested, but I really encourage you guys, again, just buy, not investment advice, but if you do happen to want to buy a little bit of Bitcoin, it's an investment in your education, because you will start to go down the rabbit hole. And trust me, over the years, you guys, because I do still dabble in a lot of altcoins. I have a lot of altcoins that I'm very bullish on and I think will provide great returns. But the more I learn about Bitcoin, the more I do become a Bitcoin not a maximalist, but the more I do think Bitcoin serves the greatest purpose within the cryptocurrency markets. All right, it's the king, and I believe it will stay that way. All right, so again, you guys, if you do want to know exactly what all my positions are, not just these, I have a lot more positions within this portfolio. If you want to know exactly what they are, exactly how I'm trading them on a daily basis, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter, first link in the description. Exactly as it states, complete breakdown, all call options, all put options, stock positions, cryptocurrencies, broken down in percentages. I do update it every trading day. Along with that, I send out a newsletter during market hours talking about the trades I made that day, rationalizing my thoughts, and just giving you guys more up-to-date, more real-time updates of my thoughts on the markets overall. Okay, so check that out if you're interested. If not, no worries. And drop a comment down below if you're excited about any of these things, what you're keeping an eye on next week personally. I always love learning from you guys. Always love talking shop with you guys. Okay, so until next time, you guys, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.